Hey, Facebook, this is Walter Bond, and we made a decision that we're going to start using Facebook Live. And I'm telling you, every Saturday morning, if you need some motivation, if you need to talk to your boy, just tune in. And we're going to do it obviously free. And every Saturday morning, I want you to grab a cup of coffee. I want you to get the kids busy, give them a little toy, throw them in the corner, take your dog out for a walk. And I'm just going to take 3 to 5 minutes every Saturday morning, and all I want to do is be a blessing to you. You know, I realized a long time ago about purpose, and for people to be successful, we need to have a really strong understanding and clarity on purpose. In other words, when I think about purpose, we have to figure out, why did God create us, right? Why did he wire you the way you're wired? You know, why are you intense? Why are you easygoing? Why are you laid back? And I figured out my purpose, and that's one of the biggest reasons, and maybe the only reason I've been successful, is that I've stumbled into my purpose. You know, I never thought about being a motivational speaker as a kid. My college basketball coach, Clint Haskins, said it to me. He was like, son, you should be a motivational speaker. And I think that day God used him. And 10 years later, after my basketball career was over, I was broadcasting for the Minnesota Timberwolves, hated broadcasting, another story altogether. But I remember that he spoke that to me. And God will use people to speak to you. And I was able to stumble into my purpose. And so being a motivator, helping people have success, is just who I am. And I've been put on this earth to do that for people. And I've struggled. I have failed. And right now, we've been able to overcome some mistakes I've made. And now we're doing pretty well. But through the journey, through the struggles, through the ups and downs, we've really have figured this thing out. And one of the biggest compliments I ever got was from one of my teammates. And another little side note, don't divorce yourself from your past. You know, I'm a thought leader now, and people hold me in high esteem as a motivational speaker and a thought leader. But here's the reality. I'm an athlete at heart. And so I run everything through my sports computer first and make sense out of it. And then I hash it out to my corporate audience, and I regurgitate what I learned in a corporate vernacular. But I run everything through a sports computer. And Willie Burton, one of my frat brothers and a very talented basketball player, and hopefully he's listening, probably the most talented player I've ever played with. That's saying a lot. I had teammates Karl Malone, John Stockton, Hall of Fame players, but Willie Burton, from a talent standpoint, was probably the most talented player I ever worked with. And he made a comment to me that gets emotional. He says, Walter, I love playing with you because you were one teammate that made me better. And I believe God used him that day to really help me understand my purpose. My purpose on this earth is to make people better. So every Saturday morning at this time, I want you to tune in. I want you to invite your family. I want you to invite your friends. I want you to invite your husband, okay? If your husband's not acting right, get him on here, okay? If your wife's not acting right, have them tune in. If your kids aren't acting right, have them gather around your computer, your phone, and every Saturday morning, all I want to do is to make you better. I want to make your family better. I want you to make you a better leader, a better business person, because that's my purpose. So Willie Burton, I want to thank you for confirming why I've been created. Why did God allow me to struggle? Why has he allowed me to succeed? Because I'm on this earth to connect with you in your failures. I'm going to connect with you in your successes. And my number one job is to make you better. So if you want to get better, okay, if you want to have more money in your pocket, if you want to have a pleasant home, if you want to get along better just as a human being and master the human experience, all you need to do is to tune in to Facebook Live every Saturday morning at this time, okay? Now here's my message for today. My second NBA game, I scored 25 points. Now, could you imagine? Okay, I'm undrafted. I basically was Rudy. You know, I scrambled, I fought, I clawed, and I made it to the NBA, a childhood dream. But my second game, I had 25 points. You know, my mind was blown. I'm thinking to myself, not only am I going to make it to the NBA, I'm going to become a superstar. Move over, Mike. What? Scotty? Pippen? What? Walter Bond's in the house. My second game, I dropped 25. You couldn't tell me nothing. But here's the reality. That was my career high. I've never scored 25 points a game. In fact, my NBA career average was like 7 points a game. And it taught me something about life and why Michael Jordan was so great. 25 points? He averaged more than that a night. In other words, if you want to be great at what you do, you need to become consistent. I scored 25 points one time. Never did it again. That was it. And so 3 years later, I'm out the NBA. Why? Because I failed to be consistent. So that might be your biggest struggle right now. If you're struggling in your company and you think your boss hates your gut, first check yourself. Are you consistent? I mean, a lot of people start strong on Monday, right? They have a great Monday, great Tuesday, and then all of a sudden hump day shows up. How was your Wednesday? Do you just mail it in Thursday and Friday? Are you consistent? Okay, you want a great marriage. Okay, you're nice on Monday and you're romantic on Wednesday, and by Friday night you're mean, okay? Be consistent in your moods. Be consistent in your expressions. You want to get back in shape? Be consistent, okay? If you go to the gym 3 days a week, you will get back in shape. Be consistent. So that's my message for today. I don't know what you're dealing with. I don't know what your challenges are, but I know one thing. We all have to be consistent, because if we're not consistent, I can't trust you. Okay, if you don't come to work every day and bring it, I can't trust you. If you don't have the right spirit at home, if you're not pleasant and sweet, we can't trust you. So the only way you can live your dreams and get to the top of the food chain and all that you do, be consistent. Kids, if you're listening, if you want to be a good student, be consistent with your study habits. Be consistent at school. Wake up at the same time. Successful people are consistent. If I can go back in time with all the money they're throwing around the NBA right now, are you kidding me? Imagine if I was consistent. Imagine if I scored 25 points every single night. You wouldn't be thinking about me as a motivational speaker. You'd be thinking about me as a basketball player, because I would have made so much money. I would have been on some island right now, sipping pina coladas out of a coconut. But you know what? It is what it is. I was not consistent. I don't know why I wasn't consistent, but I learned my lesson. As a motivational speaker, I do about 100 events a year. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care how much travel I do. My number one commitment is to be consistent. To be a husband, I need to be consistent. To be a father, I need to be consistent. Everything that I do, that is a life lesson for me. We have to be consistent. So Walter Bond's coming to make you better right now. I want you to ask yourself a question. Are you consistent? Okay? Are you the same person at work that you are at home? Let me tell you something about life. You know what? Some people act differently at work than they do at home. Let me give you a lesson I teach my kids. The true you lives at home. If you're a jerk at home, you're a jerk. Everyone can go to work and act a certain way for 8 hours, but the real you lives at home. So my question is, are you consistent? No doubt about it. Willie Burton, thank you, bro. I'm here to make you better. We all have to be consistent. My NBA career failed. I wanted to be more than just a transient traveling. I never played in the same place twice. Every year, an NBA team at the end of the season, they said no thank you, and they brought in somebody else. Why? Because I was not consistent. I learned a tough lesson that I'll never forget. Now, I'm a Hall of Fame motivational speaker. You know why? Because I refuse not to be consistent. Every day I wake up, I bring it. I wake up, I bring it. I go to bed, I bring it. I want to be consistent in my moods, my attitude, my disposition, how I engage people. I always want to be consistent because I understand Michael Jordan became a superstar. Fans flocked to that arena. Why? Because they knew if Michael Jordan was in the house, he's going to bring it every single night. Now you got NBA players that take a night off. I see why fans complain. You never heard about Michael Jordan taking a night off? 82 times he brought it because he was consistent. And in the playoff season, he cranked it up another notch. Not only was he consistent, he got better in the playoffs, baby. Let me tell you something. Go to my website. I scored on Michael Jordan. Yeah, I did. One-on-one on the wing. For that one moment, I was better than Mike. Now, I didn't show the rest of the game. For that one play, I scored on Michael Jordan. What did I do for my confidence? It convinced me that I was worthy to be at that level. You are worthy for success. You want a promotion, you're worthy. But let me tell you something. You gotta be consistent. Because if you're not consistent, your boss can't trust you. If you're not consistent, your spouse can't trust you. If you're not consistent, your kids can't even trust you. Could you imagine your kids losing faith in you, mom, because you're not consistent? Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got today. Every Saturday morning, tune in Share. Invite your family. Invite your friends. Because all that I do in corporate America, I'm bringing to you. All that I do in corporate America, we coming to you Facebook Live, and you're going to see what we do in corporate America. I teach CEOs to be consistent. I learned my lesson. And let me tell you something. I want you to learn your lessons too, because we all going to fail forward. When you make that mistake, get your butt up. Stop throwing a pity party. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. We all make mistakes, but get your butt back up and get back on your horse and be consistent. I'm going to have a live message for you every Saturday morning. Not going to take long. All I ask you to do is to share. Invite your mama, invite your daddy, invite your uncle, invite your neighbor. All I want to do is share. Because God put me on this earth to make you better. Thank you, Willie. I know my purpose. And I want you to understand your purpose. Because once you understand your purpose, let me tell you something. You're going to be happy. Once you understand your purpose, you're going to be free. Once you understand your purpose, let me tell you something. Your life is going to be blessed because God created you for a reason. But if you're not consistent, it's going to be impossible for you to reach your potential. It's going to be impossible for you to reach your destiny. So if you can do anything for me, you might be flaky, but you teach your kids to be consistent. Don't you pass an inconsistent generational curse on to your kids. But here's what we can do right now. Change and make a commitment for all this year. Whatever you commit to, promise me one thing. You'll be consistent. I learned from Michael Jordan, John Stockton, Karl Malone. They were my teammates. I saw them bring it every single night because that's what superstars do. They are consistent. So you enjoy the rest of your Saturday, superstar. But that's the word I want you to think about tonight. What can you do to be more consistent at work? But more importantly, we're building families because our world is being destroyed because the family is destroyed. I want you to also think about how you can become more consistent at home. Because if you're consistent at work, if you're consistent at home, you're going to have the life that you dreamt about. I'm going to see you next week. Share, tune in, tweet, do what you got to do. But this time next week, I'm going to have a different message for you because my job is to make you